So let me ask you a question. So who do you lean on and who do you talk to when you are having either relationship, difficulties, or maybe you need that balancing sounding voice? Who is that person in your corner? Who's on your right
Um,
shoulder?
my sister, I have an older sister who's been
Your
married for
sister. Okay.
17 years. And not only because she's been married, but obviously because we come from the same woman, right? So we have a we share a thought process. And her being older than me and me having trust in that and me having trust in her wisdom and stuff like that, I consult with her because I think that is getting me that keeps me aligned to in alignment to who I am as a person, and just gives me a fast track to clarity, because it's like I know if she's gonna know what I mean, but she's also gonna be honest with me about being wrong or right, and then she's also speaking from experience of being in partnership with someone else
Okay.
and a
Is it fair
therapist.
to
But
say? Is it fair to say that you have, positive male, figures in your life? I don't want to say role model, but like, stand up men that you respect, revere, and have some sort of semblance of what you would want or desire in a man or husband in this case, because obviously you're dating in a completely.
I think so. I think for me, like, my parents were not together most of my life. They were for 14 years before I got here, but they were great friends. So I have a lot of male friends that truly make me feel loved and cared for and looked out for, and that are honest and transparent with me about things, and just supportive overall. And I think seeing that, having that dynamic encourages me to find a partner that, um, like, removing all the romance from partnership and more in aiming towards, like, having a close friend to do life with. And I
Why
think
So
not
that's
date
a good
one of those
example
friends? Why not date one of those friends?
because we're not compatible in every way. But I
Oh,
think the ability to maintain these relationships proves that it's not me that's difficult to be with, right? Or it's not a matter of somebody not being adequate, but it's like they might already have a mate, or we might have tried it once and it didn't work out, or we don't want the same type of relationship. Some men, I have a homeboy that he doesn't want a monogamous relationship. I don't think that makes him a bad person, but he can't be my man. You know what I mean? We're still good friends, but we don't want the same type of relationship. Every man I meet is not meant for me to date. I don't believe that one bit. And I think women short themselves in life by pursuing every man in that way.
I feel like some women feel like,
big
hey, he
love,
can afford it, so they go for it.
Or
it's a
they don't
family
believe they
affair.
actually deserve it. Like, we sleep on how fucked up people's self-esteem really is, and we find ways to justify accepting the minimum. Like, well, most men cheat anyway.
Some
Then
women
I'll
don't want
hold
to be
out.
wives though. Some of them don't want to be exclusive. They
Or
don't want to be
or maybe
wives.
they
They don't
don't.
want. They don't want the responsibility of having to cook and clean. They don't want to
But
have to
then
be
they're just as
submissive. They just
guilty as not wanting as the man is for not wanting to marry a woman before he has kids. That's the same problem. Because it would be better for you to be married before you had children. So why wouldn't you do it?
see that's the thing I debate with, right? Because although I am a proponent of marriage, like I got married at 21, so I definitely am a supporter of marriage. However, this idea that marriage is objectively better, it's not something that I think can be like substantiated. It's great, like the idea of what marriage represents, which is the unity and the family unit being together. I think that's important. But marriage itself, in the times that we're having now, in a situation where there's no economic incentive to marry, women are making just as much money as men are. There's not really as many incentives for either side to really get or stay married nowadays. So it's like there has to be I feel that in our generation there's going to have to be new ways developed of having a village or having a family, because I don't think marriage has sufficed up until now. We can keep talking about it and keep saying, yo, we need marriage to bring the family back, but I don't think it's like trying to put like a bag of rice bust open and you're trying to get all the rice back in the bag. Like we already passed that. The rice all over the floor.
But
like,
we're not, because this is one thing we're not doing. We're not doing it. That's why it's not working.
We're doing it, and it's ending in divorce. People are still getting married, but the thing is that the marriages aren't working like at a high level, and so the people who are seeing the marriages not work and the people who experience the marriages not work are like, you know what, this isn't working. I'm gonna try another method. So I think. And I disagree with something you said earlier. You said a lot of men are afraid to play the husband role. And I genuinely don't believe that's what it is. I just think that many men are afraid to play the husband role and not get a wife in return. And they're afraid of taking on the responsibility of husband, but not having the power of being husband. And I think because of how empowered women are now, I think a lot of women are very hesitant to give up that power, because submissiveness does require you to give up a certain level of power. And y'all in a position now where y'all pay your own bills, you getting your own money, you deciding when you want to wake up, what you want to wear, where you want to travel to. And I think for a lot of women, embracing being a wife and saying, you know what, I have this power to do what I want, but I gotta give this up. I had to actually give this power to someone else that he can lead. I think a lot of women say that, but I think where the disconnect is happening between men and women, because men are saying like, they're not giving up they're not allowing me to take the lead. They're not giving me the opportunity.
Because you're not showing up in the right form in order to get a woman to do that willingly. Because you don't want to have to take it from her or force it out of her. You want it to be willingly, and it needs to be encouraged and influenced. It's not just because she's a woman, this is how she's supposed to act.
But
no,
that wasn't even
there are different ways.
And that's conditional love.
That wasn't even an issue. But that also wasn't an issue for men of the past. They didn't have to worry about it because women didn't have that power then. So if she wanted to be free, so to speak, marriage was the root. And so marriage was a great incentive for women. Like, yo, I want to get out of my parents' house. I want to. Well, I'm not talking about those cases. I'm talking about adults, women marrying. I'm just saying, like, in the 80s and 70s, when women were getting married, the incentives were very different than the incentives are now. Now it's like, well,
you got to go a little further back to 80s and 70s.
Well, I mean,
and the black woman is always
right.
working.
I think you're right. I think we can go. I think you're right. I think we can go a lot further back. But I'm overall just saying that the power that women have now has created a different appetite in women, and women are not giving that power up. The women in the past didn't even have that power. So it's like, now that y'all got it, y'all not giving it up.
Yeah, because if what you're offering isn't better, why would we?
Well, the thing is, because of the power that y'all have to make the choices of your own, it's going to be very difficult for you to see someone else's choice as better.